All right, welcome to week 9, day 1. We have Veterans Day on Wednesday. We have no school on Wednesday, and you guys will be working on your work for your Veterans Day letter this week. All right, here we go. So, this is in your day 1 packet. This is the table of contents. It says, a veteran talks to brownies and Girl Scouts at Veterans Day Parade. A Vietnam veteran salutes the flag during a Veterans Day program. Last year for Veterans Day, our class played a song on the recorder. If you ever made a sacrifice to help someone, you know it isn't easy. Yet millions of American veterans have sacrificed for the sake of their country. Veterans are people who have served in the U.S. Armed Forces. They may or may not have fought in wars. The U.S. Armed Forces include the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. Today, there are about 25 million veterans in the United States. Many more millions of Americans served in wars in which the United States fought. Those who died are remembered on a national holiday called Memorial Day. Veterans Day offers the sacrifices of all veterans, living and dead. Always sounds so sad. It says here, an American flag is raised near Paris to celebrate the armistice of an end of World War I on November 11th, 1918. History of Veterans Day. Veterans Day actually began as a different holiday, Armistice Day. This holiday celebrated the end of what was known as the Great War, a war the United States entered in 1917. It fought on the side of its allies, which included Great Britain, France, and Russia. In all, more than 4 million Americans fought. In 1918, the Great War came to an end after more than 4 years. Casualties reached more than 37 million. That's a lot. The modern world has never experienced such wartime losses. On November 11th of 1918, both sides gained an armistice that ended the fighting. The armistice started on the 11th hour of the 11th day on the 11th month of the year. Why poppies? On Veterans Day, some veterans wear a little red poppy on their shirts. Some hand out poppies and accept donations. The donations that the U.S. veterans of foreign wars collect are used to help wounded or disabled veterans. Holy cow. Sorry, guys. Poppies are grown in a region called Flanders, which stretched across the area of France and Belgium. Many soldiers died there during World War I. A Canadian Army surgeon named John McRae served in Flanders and wrote a poem called In Flanders Field. The poem spoke of poppies growing in Allied graveyards between the crosses row on row. Even now, the red poppies help keep alive the memory of those fallen soldiers. It also helps raise funds for soldiers living today. The poppies help the VFW live up to its motto, to honor the dead by helping the living. That's important, I believe. Okay. In September, so it says American soldiers land on the French coast in June 6th of 1944. In September of 1939, war broke out in Europe again. Even more soldiers were sent to fight, and more soldiers were killed. More soldiers were killed in the Great War. People later called this World War II, and then referred to the Great War as World War I. The sacrifices that the United States and its allies made were huge. After the war, many Americans started to call for recognition of World War II veterans. In fact, they wanted all veterans to be honored, not just those who fought in wars. This is General Dwight D. Eisenhower gestures as he watches troops and tanks in Great Britain on March 13th, 1944. Like many other great American presidents before and after him, Dwight D. Eisenhower was a veteran. An Army general during World War II, he rose to become a supreme commander of the Allied forces in Europe. On June 1st of 1954, President Eisenhower signed a bill that changed the name to from Armistice Day to Veterans Day. The bill also changed the purpose of the day to honor all veterans who had served in the U.S. Armed Forces. Veterans Day was to be celebrated on November 11th. Okay, so this is what we're going to work on for our paper today. I'll get to that after I pause this video.